Assalamu alaikum. So, in less than 2 months, me and my business partner Mohammed made 10K per month, following a system very, very similar to this. And I want to show you how to do it, Echi, easily. Because I generally don't believe 10K per month is hard. There's aspects of it that are hard, but I'm going to show you how to dodge those aspects and make it easier for yourself. Because I'm sick of people hiding the secrets of 10K per month behind some random thing, right? And I'm sick of the Ummah being deprived of any sort of information that can genuinely help them. Because there's loads of gurus out there that aren't Muslim, that aren't going to teach you the way to do it Islamically. But inshallah, I hope to change that. Not being a guru though, because there's a lot of negative connotations around that. But anyways, we're literally just going to jump in. I'm going to show you these 4 steps, how to get to 10K per month. Each in-depth step. So if you've got a notepad and pen, you're going to be taking notes, inshallah. And I might be taking you to different videos of mine that might maybe help you with the outreach side of things. It might help you with creating an offer, etc., etc. But let's just jump in. So the reason I put a brain and money at the very top, because most of the time when I got started, I realized a lot of my limiting beliefs were stopping me from doing the things I was supposed to be doing. For example, when I was supposed to be cold calling for my agency, I genuinely believed that the person on the receiving end of my cold call, the person I was cold calling, didn't want to hear from me. So I had a lot more resistance to cold call, a lot more kind of going against me, right? That's what resistance is, something that feels wrong, something that feels off, or something that just you don't want to do. Because I thought that the person I was going to call was going to hate me. And I thought the person I was going to call was going to call me a scammer, because of course, right, if you get a cold call most of the time, it's probably from a scammer, right? So I really, really had these negative beliefs around cold calling, and they stopped me from cold calling. So the first thing you want to do is understand, what limiting beliefs do I have around making money? But most of the time, you're not going to know all of them straight away. As you go down this chain of taking action, you'll realize, oh, I'm finding this part really hard to take action on. And then you'll realize, okay, the reason I'm finding it hard is maybe because I think that cold calling is a scam. Maybe I think that sending people DMs is really annoying. Whatever it is, you'll find yourself having limiting beliefs. Because you have to think about it this way. In the laws of physics, what actually stops me from doing the thing? If nothing stops you from doing the thing, then it's most likely that you have an emotional aspect of it that is stopping you. So, first of all, limiting beliefs. The most common one I see among our brothers and sisters is, like brothers and sisters in Islam, is people feeling guilty around money. Most of the time, you've either been raised up by your parents to tell you that money's evil, that rich people are evil, they exploit everybody, and you shouldn't be one of the rich people. It's okay to just have a humble, modest job and not do anything about it. Well, obviously, you've got the entrepreneurial desire. You've got this conflict between what you were raised on thinking and what you actually want to do, and what maybe you're seeing online and what you're being motivated to do. Realize that you've been programmed by your parents to basically hate money and to hate rich people. And if you think that your parents hate rich people, then obviously you don't want to be hated by your parents. So you don't try and be rich. And that's the number one thing I see, is guilt around money. Maybe it's around making money, feeling guilty that others aren't making money. Why should I be making money? This is something I can't necessarily solve for you. I can only bring these beliefs to light. But a lot of the time, you're going to have to take some time while taking action to reflect and be like, okay, what is holding me back from moving? Because physically, I can send DMs. Physically, I can cold call. Physically, I can close a sales call. But what is actually stopping me from doing it? What am I doing wrong? And then you end up realizing, it's just your mind, just in your mind. So the second thing in terms of limiting beliefs is having that guilt. Now, the final thing I want to talk about mindset in terms of this is having money consciousness. Now, money consciousness isn't an obsession of money, but it's a desire to make more money and having a goal around money. Because a lot of the time, if you don't have a goal around money, the same way if you don't have a goal around health and fitness, you probably won't strive to improve in your health and fitness. Also, I don't know what that voice crack was, so ignore it. But you probably won't strive to improve your health and fitness if you never put forward a goal, for example, to get to 80 kilograms of muscle, right? Currently, you're 75 kilograms, you want to get to 80 kilograms, you just want to add muscle, you want to be lean at 80 kilograms. You became conscious, you became aware of the fact that you want to do that. But sometimes, if you put no money goal, if you're not aware of how much money you want to be making, then you're almost unable to take action towards that money. And again, that's probably why, because, you've got limiting beliefs around you. If you're already guilty around money, but you have to start acting money conscious. In one of my videos, I put one of the best habits I ever did, a really strange one, was literally be surrounded by wealthy people. I'd go into hotels where wealthy people would be. I'd go into neighborhoods where everybody there was wealthy, and I got to see all the cars. And I got to see how infinite money was. I became more conscious of the fact that money is infinite. Everybody can have as much money as they want. So by me making 10K per month, it's not like I've taken away 10K per month from somebody else. Everybody can have a piece of the pie because the piece of the pie keeps regenerating. Imagine taking a piece of meat from your couscous, right? From your couscous. If you're Northern African, you know what that is. It's basically this little grain, right? If you're not, it's basically this little grain, similar to rice, but just really, really small. And then you usually have it with lamb meat, right? Imagine taking a bit of the meat and then another bit of meat pops up. Or there's like millions of bits of meat in the fridge. You don't have to worry about taking as much as you want. There is no greed when something is infinite, as long as you have the right intentions, which I'll be talking about later, inshallah. But the main thing to understand when it comes to your mindset, the main thing I want you to really remember and hone in, the thing that I want you to have written down is you probably have a lot of limiting beliefs around money. And the main one is probably going to be around guilt, maybe even fear. The fear of making money and what would happen to you if you made money. Some of you might think, well, Fedi, to be honest with you, I'm scared of making money because I've seen what it does to people. It corrupts them. The love of money corrupts people. Money itself does nothing, but the love for money, when you love money more than anything, and of course we know we're supposed to love Allah, and we're supposed to love Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and then we love our mom, right? So don't put money in that bracket. Keep money away. Keep it money all the way down there. You'll be fine when it comes to that. But reflect, genuinely. If you want to pause the video, you can do. I personally like to finish videos first and then reflect on everything that was said. But you might want to pause the video and reflect now, and that's okay. So before we move on to the next step, understand that your mind is going to dictate how all of this goes. Not because of some wishy-washy, I send out vibrations and I meditate for 2 hours. It's just because the action you're going to take is going to be based on your emotion and your thoughts. And even if it's not based on your emotions because you're very stoic and disciplined, it's going to be based on your thoughts. If you don't think of doing something, you can never do that thing. The thought always comes before the action. And that's what we care about. That's what I definitely care about. I care more about the actions. I don't care about sending out vibrations into the universe. The universe doesn't exist without Allah. The universe isn't conscious. It's just a bunch of stars, right? So anyways, money mindset. That's the one thing you want to have, is a mindset around money. And if you want to ever go deeper into any of these things, I've got so many videos on limiting beliefs and stuff like that. So this entire part here, the mindset I want you to have is, I'm just going to copy what's already working. This is why it's going to be really easy for you to make 10K per month. And for some of you, you might feel wrong doing this. And again, that's a limiting belief. And the reason it is a limiting belief is because there's nothing wrong with copying or getting inspiration from your competitors. Feel Like an Artist. Very, very good book. Nothing is actually original. So even if you were to, quote unquote, make something original or come up with an original business idea, it probably isn't the first ever idea to be conceived, right? Surely you understand that. There's people before you that probably had the idea. They just didn't action it. So what you want to do is take an idea that is genuinely already working and run with it. So the first step on that is the who. Because in your business, you're going to have to decide who you're going to want to sell to. Okay. So in this entire thing, I'm going to show you who to sell to, what to sell to them, how to sell to them, and then going deeper into how to sell to them. But who are you going to sell to? Generally, think about who you're going to sell to. This is your niche, right? If you've ever heard that word, this is your niche. So some of you I know kind of overthink the whole niche process. The really simple way to look at it is, does this person or does this group of people have money to spend? Are they in pain? Are they easy to target? And lastly, the least important one in my opinion, are they a growing market? Right? Obviously, if they're shrinking, don't go with them. Like if you're going with the newspapers, that's just a very silly idea. You might be thinking, well, Fedi, I don't actually know what niche to pick. Like, I don't know what interests I have. Should I pick a niche on what someone else tells me? Is there a bad niche for me to avoid? Is there an easy niche for me to go into? The easiest niche for you to go into is the niche that you stick to for the next 5 years. And the reason I say that is because niches, like any sort of market, will respect and gravitate, so they'll go towards the person that understands them the best. And you'll only understand them with time. So pick a niche right now that excites you, that you're willing to stick with for the next 5 years. It might be right now a niche you don't understand that much about, but that's okay. Just pick a niche, stick with it for the next 5 years. Because you don't have to stress about all of this. I'm going to show you how you can model your competitors. But you're going to pick a niche, pick a person, whether it be a dentist, whether it be a basketball gym, whether it be fitness influencers, whether it be e-commerce stores, whatever niche you pick for your business, who is going to dictate what you sell to them. Okay. So what you sell to them in terms of your offer and your actual service. So when we jump into what you sell to them, I hope the who is clear, by the way. I generally don't need to overthink it because as long as they have money, Fedi, how do I know if they have money? Well, look at the market itself, their industry. How much money does that industry have? Look at the average business in that industry. How much does it make? Just a little bit of research will give you some clarity, right? Maybe in terms of how do I target them? See if you can find them on LinkedIn. See if you can find them on Facebook, right, which we'll be talking about later, inshallah. See if you can cold call them or send them a cold email. So that's the most important stuff when it comes to targeting, is that you're able to outreach them. So let's go back to the what very quickly. What to offer and what service to offer them. So the service is a question I get a lot on from my students, which is, Fedi, I'm not too sure what service to give them. Do you think I should do Facebook ads? Do you think I should do cold outbound campaigns? Do you think I should do some inbound stuff? What do you think I should do? And I always tell them, well, model what works. Me and Mohammed have already showed you that for our agency, it worked really, really well to do cold outbound campaigns. So for you, you could just model us and make it work that way. But model what already works. Instead of trying to stress about an offer on what to sell them, look at what your market is already offering. So let's say you pick the dental niche and you're thinking of doing marketing for dentists. Look up dental marketing agency. Check what those people are doing. Look at what offers they have on their websites. If it's a really bad offer, don't copy it. How do you know if it's a good or bad offer? Well, look at it this way. A good offer is going to target who? Let me get my pen so I can add it so it's really, really clear. Okay, let's get the big black pen, even though it's a very ugly color to have with all the other colorful stuff. If you want to look at who they target, this is how you know a good offer. Who they target. What is their promise? I'm going to put PRO. What is their promise? And then what is their guarantee? There you go. Look at who are they targeting? How specific are they? Because the more specific they are, the better, usually. What is their promise? Is their promise just more leads, or is their promise actually quantifiable? Is it like, can you put a number to it? So maybe they're saying, we're going to get you 60 plus leads a month, right? And how are they describing? Are they calling them leads, or are they calling them appointments? Are they calling them clients? Are they calling them patients? If you're in the dental niche, you best hope they're calling them patients, because nobody calls them lead in that niche. And then with a guarantee, what sort of guarantee do they have? Do they have a money back guarantee? Do they have a results driven guarantee? Maybe they're working on a pay on performance basis, so they only get paid after they perform well. So look at other people's offers, right? Look at what the market is offering and try and just make a slightly better offer. And the reason I say that is because there's no saturated niche, there's just saturated offers. So you don't want to copy them exactly. Like I said, you're going to model what works, not copy what works, you're going to model what works. So when it comes to the offer itself, I generally just want you to think, can I make the who more specific? Can I make the promise more specific? And can I make the guarantee better? Like if I take zero payment up front and it's completely pay on performance, that is a very, very good guarantee. Okay. And maybe none of your competitors are doing that. So you've got a competitive advantage with your offer. And instead of you stressing about your offer, like how do I offer it? This takes you a maximum of like 2 hours to do, genuinely. You're doing the correct research, which sometimes at the start might be hard, but you'll get the hang of it. You do the correct research. After 2 hours, you have a pretty good idea of what your competition is promising, and you promise something better. That is literally it. How do you stand out from your competition? You don't stand out by just saying, oh, look at me, I'm different. You stand out by offering something different. You don't stand out from your competition by jumping to another niche. You just stand out by being like, hey, look, my offer is better. My offer is better. If you imagine yourself in a crowd of like 100 people, you don't just leave that crowd and be like, yeah, I'm going to go to another niche. You stand out of that crowd. You maybe get a chair and you stand up and you're like, hey, my offer is better than these guys. Look, check it out. Everybody else is going to be like, what? I thought this was a really saturated niche. No. It's just everyone had the same offers, and therefore it was very, very saturated. The next thing I would do after you've created your offer, and I know it's generally really, really simple. I know it's kind of annoying that I'm keeping it broad, but it generally is very simple. I just told you, look at who, be more specific on the who. Look at the promise, try and be more specific on the promise. And look at the guarantee, try and make it a better guarantee to reverse more of their risk. When it comes to the service itself, okay, the really main thing I would focus on is just finding a service that either I'm happy learning, generally because it's a skill you're going to have to develop if you don't have any skills, or I'd look at, again, what's currently working in the market, and I'll just work on that skill. So for some of you, it might be the skill of cold calling. It might be the skill of content creation. It might be the skill of cold outbound stuff like sending DMs and cold emails. It might be the service of Facebook ads, Google ads, whatever it is. I would go out and at least understand what is my niche most likely to bite. And to be honest, I might even ask ChatGPT this in terms of giving me some data. You want to understand, based on your competitors that you looked on their offer, understand what services do these people provide. That's it. Pick one service. This is the really key thing. You pick just one service. You don't pick 100, because a lot of your competitors will probably offer 10, 15. Some of them will literally offer hundreds of services, which is really stupid. But you just pick one service, just one. Pick one service that you know your niche like because your competitors are doing it, and you're going to try and get better at them in that service without practicing first. This is the key thing. The way you get better at the service is by selling it to people. And then your practice comes from actually delivering, not watching courses. Because if you were to watch courses, it literally takes you 20 hours of courses, and then you're probably going to be better than 99% of people at the thing, generally. But then to actually become really good at the thing, so you understand the thing, there's one thing of understanding. To actually become really, really good at the thing, you just have to do it. So instead of trying to buy more courses or trying to understand and watch more videos on copywriting, trying to understand more videos on Facebook ads, cold outreach, etc., you've already watched probably enough videos on it. So now it's time for you to just take action and start closing people and giving them the service. As a little tip, generally that is the best way you're going to keep improving. You're going to keep getting better at the service itself. When it comes to the service, look at what your competitors are doing. It could be on their websites. It could be on their LinkedIn profiles. It could be on their Instagram profiles even. It could be even on their YouTube channels. Like, I've got no clue where you'd find your competitors in terms of like your specific niche, where you'd find what they're telling you. But most of them are going to be on LinkedIn. Most of them are going to have a website. Look at what services they're promising and they're offering. Pick one, and preferably pick one you can charge a lot for. Because I saw a brother, mashallah Ali, Allahumma barik. He's a lovely guy anyways, but he made a really silly mistake. And he basically just picked picked a service that he liked. You don't want to pick something that you like specifically. You want to pick something that you know you'll make a lot of money from. He picked website development. Website development, like this, you probably won't be able to charge $3,000 or £3,000 for website development, will you? It's just a website. Like, yeah, it might help them bring leads, but it's just a website at the end of the day. There's no direct correlation between the website and bringing them leads that they can track. It's going to be very hard for them to kind of want to buy that. However, if it's an e-commerce niche, then maybe they do want a really fancy website that can help them have their copy inside there, their products look amazing, etc., etc. But for most niches, website development, you're not going to charge a lot for. And that's really important. You want to pick a service that you can charge a lot for because you're here to make 10K per month as fast as possible. So I'm going to reiterate everything here and I'll tell you what I would have done. In terms of my mindset, I would have got rid of my fear of making money and I would have basically taken as much action as I can until I felt like the action was hard. I would have reflected on why do I feel the action is hard and just spend like an hour or two in silence with a pen and paper trying to figure out what's in my mind. Okay. Then when it comes to the who, I would pick a niche that has a lot of money. Even if they're not like a growing niche, even if they're a bit harder to target sometimes, it's worth the time for me to target and to maybe pay for a software to do this, or maybe for me to kind of, what would be the word? I guess spend more time outreaching and trying to develop an outreach method. It'd be worth it for me to put more of that work up front for a niche that can pay me 10,000, like a payment of just 10,000 for one service. So for me, I'd focus on the niche that has money. Off the top of my mind, I might be thinking of a niche such as, let's see, like people, it could be like a section of people. It could be jet owners. Like you have to own a jet for my service. And whatever my service would be, I don't know yet, but you'd have to own a jet, right? So maybe I pick the niche of people who own jets, or people who rent jets, people who own yachts, whatever it would be, right? It could be yacht renting companies, it could be jet renting companies. And then in terms of figuring out what to sell them, I'd literally look at my competitors and understand what are these people usually being sold to? Are they usually being sold to marketing services? No, some of them don't really have a business. Maybe they got their money from trading. Maybe they got their money from their job or whatever. It could be loads of different things. So then I'd keep researching, understanding what are these people offering them, right? What are they offering my niche? And then I'd find a service that I could learn or a service that I could charge a lot for and just go out and do that service. So I'd pick a really rich niche, look at my competitors and what they're doing. Preferably, I'd find a way to speak to the people in my niche, like go to a networking event, or let's say in the UK there aren't that many I can think of, but like I'm nowhere near Heathrow Airport as well. So Heathrow Airport is it's probably the biggest airport in the UK, and basically just go and try and speak to the people in my niche, right? Like speak to someone who's a jet owner. I don't know how I'd figure out how to speak to them. This is why I'm saying it's going to take a lot more work up front. I don't know how I'd figure out to speak to them, but I'd go and speak to them and ask them, hey, what problems do you deal with? What problems are you trying to solve for yourself? What's the main concern that you have when you're flying a jet? What's the main concern that you have when you're going on a business trip, etc., etc.? And then I'd find something to solve that problem for them, which becomes my service. Because most of the time, 99% of the time, your service is just... So the next step would be to outreach to them. So now that we know what's in our mind and we've become money conscious. Now we know who we're going to sell to and what we're going to sell them with our offer and our service. What I would do next is find a way to explain my offer in a video. Now, this is basically like a VSL, like a mini VSL. So what I would do is I'd prepare a 2-minute video saying, hey, we work with, and then saying who, to get them, and then I say the result, right? What they're going to get. And then I say, for example, hey, we work with dentists to get them an extra 20 patients per month on a complete pay and results basis. And I'm really happy that I'm going to get to share this video with you. So let's just jump right in. I'm going to walk you through our offer. And hopefully by the end of it, I'll convince you to book on a call with me. Jump on a call, not book on a call. Jump on a call with me. So then I would literally just do a 2-minute video of me walking through my offer. In my offer page, I would write out who we help, like who we don't help as well. You could say who you don't help. I would describe a little bit who we help. Now, the reason I describe a little bit who we help is because it makes them feel like they're understood. So maybe a little bit of research is going to give you that these people that you're working with, for example, for dentists in the UK, they don't like corporate practices. Corporate practices being like big practices with like 30 and 40 businesses. They like the independent ones, the small ones that maybe have 1, 2, or 3. So for me, I'd say independent dental practices, not the corporate ones. Right? Get out of here if you're corporate. And then I'd maybe give a lot of more segmentation, such as really passionate about giving the best dentistry to their local area possible. I'd basically just big them up a little bit, give them a little bit of gusto, right? And then I'd give them my promise. My promise to you is that in the next 60 days, in the next 90 days, you will achieve X, right? Or you will get an extra 20 clients, an extra 20 patients, whatever the word would be that resonates with them. And then, this is the really important part, I'd give them a little CTA at the end being like, hey, if this is something that would be remotely interesting to you, then awesome. Just pop me a thumbs up. Let's have a conversation. There's no pressure at all on the call. Let me know and I'll send you over my calendar. And that's it, right? So when it comes to this, the way I'd have my offer kind of planted is with a little VSL, because whether it be through email, whether it be through DMs, whether it be through a cold call sometimes, although in the cold call, you're not going to really pitch them the VSL, right? You can't just put it on your phone, like with your phone, put it on the microphone there or anything like that. But the point is, it gives me something to send them if I'm on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, even on email. If they ask me for more information, I just send them that, right? Because sometimes it might be difficult to handle that objection. They're really annoying. You just send them that. So that's what I would do. So now when it comes to how to sell them, the really important thing about this is your traffic source, right? So inshallah, before the end of the video, a little later on, I'm going to have it to draw down here. Or maybe I'll just say it to you, but I'd like to have it drawn so it makes sense. The traffic is going to be at the start the most important thing in your business. Because if you're booking 0 meetings, you will make 0 sales. But if you're booking 100 meetings, it's very hard for you not to sell. So at the start, you're just going to want more before better. This is a key thing when it comes to doing this as well. At the start, you're just going to want to do more cold calls rather than better cold calls. I had a brother who was telling me, Fedi, I want to keep improving my script. I was like, how many cold calls have you made? He was like, 2. I was like, what do you mean you want to improve your script? What do you mean? You've done 2 cold calls. You're not even a good cold caller at this point. You're still a baby. So go do more cold calls and then you can focus on making them better. So when it comes to Facebook, Instagram, DMs, I've already made loads of videos on this. So you can check it out. I'll put one in the description, inshallah. But if you just look up Fedi Lecamus DMs, SMMA or DMs, it should come up. But with Facebook and Instagram DMs, the most important thing to do is target the people that you want to target. And you literally just want to send them a 20-second video of you saying, hey, if you're open to the outcome, right? If you're open to getting new clients or getting new patients in the next coming weeks, just let me know. I'm really wanting to share this idea with you, but I don't want to share it without your permission. So pop me a thumbs up and I'll send you more information. And guess what you send them? The VSL, right? What we spoke about here. You send them the VSL. So once you set up a traffic system, right? And I've got all of these kind of already made on the video, so I don't want to repeat myself loads. But once you set up a traffic system, you just do more of it. You just send more DMs on Facebook. You just send more DMs on LinkedIn. You just send more DMs on Instagram. You just make more YouTube videos. For some of you guys, it might be making videos, right? I don't recommend it at the start because you don't really have much to talk about. You're not an expert, and for you to stand out, you kind of want to have clients, which is when I started my YouTube video as well. It's like my YouTube channel, sorry. So I already had clients, already serviced people, and I was just starting a new business, and I wanted to document my process. It was all business related, right? I never made YouTube just for me to become some famous guy. I literally just made YouTube to service my business, right? That's the whole point. I'm business oriented. I'm not very ego oriented. So next would be the cold calls as well. Send as many cold calls as you can, or send them, make them, make as many cold calls as you can. The more you can do all of this, the more traffic you'll get. The more traffic you'll get, the more meetings you'll get. The more meetings you'll get, the more likely you are to close a deal. The more you can practice your sales skills, which comes to the next part in terms of how do I sell them? Part two. You are going to either sell them one to one on a Zoom call or on like a phone call. You're either going to sell them one to one or you're going to sell them one to many. So one to one is the thing I would recommend because you're going to do higher tickets. I genuinely, like I told you, the way I'd go about it is the who. I'd make someone incredibly rich, someone who wouldn't mind spending 10K on whatever service I want to offer them. So it's probably going to be one to one. It probably will not be one to many because the skills you need to do one to many, to do a presentation, to do a webinar is a lot harder than for you to do one to one. So I would sell one to one and I would sell very, very high ticket one to one. If you're going to do one to many, maybe you've got something that's a bit lower ticket. Maybe it's $1,000. Maybe it's just $60, whatever it would be. Then you can start selling one to many via a webinar. But the first thing I would prioritize is selling one to one via the phone, right? Via Zoom or Google Meets, whatever it would be. So going over this entire thing, I'm going to rub the whiteboard. I'm going to rub it out. I'm going to walk you through a bit more advanced stuff to show you like kind of the step-by-step process for each one, ignoring the mindset stuff because the mindset stuff is very hard for me to break down without actually speaking to you sometimes, genuinely. But just understand the fear that you have around making money, the fear of who you think you're going to become, the fear of who you think your family are going to treat, the fears around like, is it right? Is it wrong? It's not wrong. It's just money. It's just paper. Okay. So I'm going to dive a bit deeper into this part here, the who, the offer, and the service in terms of like, how do you make sure this is very stable? Because this is the foundation of your business. Then I'm going to show you how to increase your traffic. Then I'm going to show you what to do with that traffic and how, if you've been sending DMs and they haven't been working, or if you've been doing cold calling and it hasn't been working, how to leverage data to make things work. Like I said, this is literally what I would do to make 10K per month again. So the data stuff is the most important stuff for me. So I'm going to rub this out and I'm going to show you. So going back to making 10K per month as soon as possible and what I would do if I was to start again. So I told you about the who being really, really important, right? I want to make sure they have money. So when it comes to getting a solution for them, it's a solution I would like to charge 10K for. Now, again, in terms of limiting beliefs, some of you might think, Fedi, what the heck are you charging 10K for? Believe me, these people have money. They do not care how much this thing costs as long as it brings them value. So I'm going to try and bring them something that has value. Therefore, I only need one sale to be making 1K per month. Now, for me to be making 1K per month, I'm going to do some maths and I'm going to do some really, really basic maths with the worst case scenario. I'm not looking at what should be happening. I'm looking at what is probably going to happen. And the best way to figure this out is to go off the data that you currently have, the numbers that you currently have. So if I'm trying to charge something for 10K, I'm just trying to make just one sale, okay? Just one sale. That's all I'm aiming for. I probably know that because this is a completely new niche for me, I hadn't been in it for a very long time, I've just started the business, I'm not going to understand things very much. I would probably try and have one or two clients, either on a complete pay on results basis, if it's something I can get them results on, or I would start off them for free, but for free for a testimonial, okay? But before that, let's just assume I'll be charging straight away because it is very possible for you to be charging straight away. I assume I'm only going to close 1 out of 100 people. I'm going to assume that I have a 1% closing rate for my one-to-one sales calls. And the reason I'm assuming this is because I want the worst case scenario to figure out what I actually need to be doing. Because once you figure out what you actually need to be doing, 10K per month is just an idea of maths. It doesn't become anything else. It's not something that's far away. It's just an idea of maths. So 1%, which means I have to book or have to take 100 sales calls. And let's just assume, because nobody knows me and nobody really wants to talk to me, let's just assume that only 25% of people will actually show up to the call, right? 25% of people will actually show up to the call. Therefore, I need to book 400 meetings. Out of these 400 meetings, right, how am I going to book them? I'm going to assume that for me to book the 400 meetings, I'm going to have to talk to at least 1,000 people, whether it be in person or maybe it's like via DMs or whichever way I decide to outreach. I'm going to outreach 100% because it gives me quick feedback. I'm going to assume it's going to take me 1,000, right? 1,000 times of outreach to be able to book one meeting. So to book one meeting takes 1,000. So 400 times 1,000, right, is, let's do some quick maths. 10, 100, 1,000 is 400,000. So I'm going to send 400,000 DMs. Not to 400,000 individuals, but 400,000 DMs. Because I know that I will probably get a reply, or sorry, a meeting book, not a reply. I'll probably get a reply before that. But I'll get a meeting 1 in 1,000 time, like outreaches. Now you might be thinking, Fedi, this is incredibly pessimistic. Like, what the heck is this? You're going to be sending 400,000. This is me in the worst case scenario. This is me having zero knowledge on the niche, right? This is me having zero service, like kind of expertise or anything like that. I've never done the service before. This is me starting off at zero, just zero. And this is why, for some of you, charging, right? Like you want to charge money straight away. You're not willing to go through the, like, what would that be? Like 390,600 or something like that, 99,600 rejections to actually get a yes to book a meeting with you, right? So what I would do, like I said, is focus on this number right here. It's really hard for me to do 400,000 outreaches and not book a meeting. That is the point. At the start, you are just trying to book a meeting until you figure out exactly how you can book multiple meetings. For me, it would just be prioritizing this entire thing right here, trying to get one close, one deal through. So once I get the close, I have case studies, and then once I have case studies, I can start making content, and maybe I could start running ads. And the reason I say I'd start running ads is because once I'm making 10K, once I just have one sale worth 10K, I would literally put aside like $9,000 aside, and I would just spend those $9,000 on ads and trying to make money, because the outreach, right? Maybe people are really hard to outreach to. Now I can have another way of targeting them, which is through ads. Now, like I said, this is a bit more complex, so I won't go too deep into this. But you want to understand that for you to get to 10K per month, you're probably going to have to do some maths, and you'll probably find the outcome that you're going for isn't good. So I want to go through like one more kind of example of you if you're going to be charging, let's say, $2,000 a month, right? $2,000 a month for your services, or that's what you aim to provide. There you go. Bam. So let's say you're going to aim for $2,000 per month. What I would say is forget the pricing at the start. Generally, forget the pricing at the start. One of my mentors told me an amazing thing. If you can get 3 case studies, right? I'm going to draw it here. 3 case studies. I'm going to do 3 CS, 3 case studies. If you can get 3 case studies because you work with people for free, right? Which takes some pressure off you. You just work with people for free. You get 3 case studies. Then you basically advertise those 3 case studies in your outreach, you advertise it in your ads, you advertise it whatever, right? 3 case studies. Then you stay quite low ticket, so maybe you charge 1,500 a month for your services. Because now you've got case studies, you've got proof, you charge 1,500 a month. Then you max out how many people you can take at 1,500 a month. Maybe let's say you can only take 10 people. You take 10 people at 1,500 per month, and then you still outreach. This is the really key thing that I'm going to show you as well with data. You never stop outreaching. You never stop generating traffic for your business, because the second you stop, and even if you've got the service delivery figured out, because I know, for example, a brother, he was basically stopping outreach because he wasn't able to deliver a very good service for his clients. But some of his clients left, and then he had only one client. And I was telling him, I was like, dude, why did you stop outreaching? You're going to get better at delivering the service the more clients you have. So just get more clients, right? So 1,500 a month, let's say you can only take 10 people, then you literally triple your price. You literally triple your price to 4,500 a month. Then, because you've got a waiting list and you've got so much proof from working with these 10 people, you keep increasing and you keep increasing, you keep doubling, like you take your capacity, you keep doubling, you keep doubling, you keep doubling. The economics of this is that you, okay, have already reached supply and demand. At the start, you have loads of supply and zero demand. So you have to create a demand for yourself. Okay, you have to create a demand for you with outreaching, with content, with ads. You have to create a demand for you. Once you've created a demand for you, then when there's little supply you can give because you're supplying everyone that you can, okay, what you do is then increase your price so that the supply can be almost maintained. Sorry, the supply decreases slightly because you can work with more people. And some people maybe don't take on the price, whatever it would be. But now your demand, you're able to take You're able to take it the way that you want it. You're able to have the demand come for you because you were very limited with the amount of people you can work here. And now that you see there is a demand for you, you can increase your price. And then you keep increasing your price until you reach a pretty happy equilibrium. Maybe you work with 10 people on really high end and you charge each of them 6K per month, right? Or 7 or 10 or 8K per month, whatever it would be. Now, the reason I put this as important is because the best way, in my opinion, if I was to start a business from scratch, is I would literally get 3 case studies for free. I'll try and service 3 people for free to get case studies. But I could also start charging. Like it depends. It's going to work the same either way, generally. But some of you might not be comfortable with charging straight away. Some of you might not be comfortable with going for free. And that's okay. Maybe you need to make money in the next couple of weeks, or you need to make money in the next couple of months. Then charge. It's all good, right? Like the plan stays the same overall. Once I've got case studies, I can start charging loads more. So one last thing in terms of making 10K per month again, and something I'd really, really focus on, is this idea of continuing the funnel, right? Continuing to bring traffic down the funnel. So let's say you've got this funnel right here, right? Terrible looking funnel, but let's say you've got this funnel right here. If I want at the bottom of the funnel to be making money, right? That's my goal, is at the bottom of the funnel, I want to be making money. And the last thing I need to do is decrease my top of the funnel activities. Decrease your outreach. Because if you keep decreasing your outreach, then you're going to have less throughput, you're going to have less stuff going through when you book meetings, right? So these are sales calls. Let's put 1-to-1 as a sales call. Then it becomes, in the sales call, how many people am I closing? Am I closing a lot of people? If you're not closing a lot of people, keep feeding the system. Don't stop everything and be like, I'm going to go and improve my closing skills. No, just keep feeding as much data as you can into the system. Never stop the outreach. Once you establish an outreach that works, never stop it. Once you take on sales calls, never stop taking sales calls. Never take a break from them. Keep taking sales calls. Once you keep taking sales calls, keep trying to close them. Don't think, no, this sales call, I'm not going to try and close them. I'm just going to try and learn the process. You sound like an absolute idiot, right? Keep doing the things, because a lot of you in your business, you've got one problem at the start, and the problem at the start is a traffic problem. Once you fix that traffic problem, you end up realizing you have a conversion problem. You're not very good at converting people into sales, right? Into like basically money. So what you end up having is a traffic problem fixed, but then as the conversion problem is broken, you stop working on the traffic system. So then you've got your traffic broken and your conversion broken. Maybe you fix your conversion, right? But because you fixed your conversion, you have to go back now and fix the traffic. So what you want to do with the business is work on the traffic, then work on the conversion, then work on the service delivery, right? And then work on churn, okay? Because you don't want to be setting up a system for churn if you don't even have clients. Why would you set up a system for churn if you don't have clients? Create the traffic, never let the traffic end. Always send outreaches, always have meetings being booked, then always try and close the meetings, then always try and deliver the best service possible. If the service delivery is bad, don't pause those other things, don't stop them. Because once it becomes good again, you have to restart all of this, and then there's going to be a lag. It's going to lag like 3 weeks or even a month or 2 before you get meetings again. So just focus on the fact that traffic, once it's sorted, it's sorted. Conversion, once it's sorted, it's sorted. Service delivery is going to get sorted by you servicing as many clients as possible. So that's why sometimes I would start with for free, especially if I'd got no idea about how to do the service. And then for churn, only when you've signed 20, 30 clients, then you realize, damn, my churn is terrible. It's like 50%. Then go and do some things to fix the churn. That way, when you fix the churn, you've got this whole system flowing, and it's flowing nicely. This is the basics. This is the basics that will not only get you to 10K per month, it'll get you to 100K per month, which is how I plan to get my business right now to 100K per month. Generally, hone in the traffic source, which is YouTube and some other stuff, continue our conversion and improving our conversion rate, improve our service delivery. Like our program, alhamdulillah, is very, very good. And that's not me saying it. That's what like a lot of our students are saying. But I want to keep improving it. I literally add as much as I can to it based on what people want. And then decreasing the churn, which is something that we've been focused on. Because we did all of this really quickly to get loads of feedback, loads of data. And then we realized churn is the part that's broken in our system. And that's because we realized loads of different things. We were selling the wrong people. Some people had the wrong expectations. And most importantly, some people didn't have it as their priority. So we were like, okay, cool. Well, if we're going to sell to them, right? We go back to the conversion. If we're going to sell to them, make sure they fit this criteria, because these people don't churn. So then they're able to get the best results, right? Part of the service delivery. And we're able to help them the most, and obviously they don't churn, so our business doesn't lose money. So I know the second part of this video was a bit more complicated maybe, but when it comes to the outreach and things like that, like I said, in terms of the traffic, if you're curious about how to do that, then I've got loads of videos on cold calling, DMs, other stuff like that. But when it comes to the plan itself, let's make a plan. So I'm going to draw the plan in red because this is important. The first step of the plan, to pick a who. Pick somebody that you know, or you don't have to know exactly, but pick somebody you know, probably have money, somebody who's in pain, right? Somebody who can be easily kind of outreach to, so someone you can easily reach to, and for that, I'll just make a little like Facebook symbol right there. Somebody you can, let's say, find their Facebook profile. Once you have the who decided, look at your competitors and look at what your competitors are selling them. Look at the offer they are selling, right? Going 100 because of $100 million offers. Look at the offer they are selling and the service, right? And basically just copy what they're doing and focusing on a service that you can charge a lot of money for, okay? Next, what I would do is start outreaching to people. I would outreach to people the best way to reach them, whether it be cold calls, right? Some of them might be cold calling. That's the best way to reach this potential client. It's a cold call, right? I'm really bad at drawing phones. Just imagine that's a phone. Maybe it's Facebook DMs, right? Maybe it's LinkedIn, right? Maybe LinkedIn is the best way to outreach to them. I would basically find a way to outreach to them and be able to speak to them. Maybe it's going to be in-person networking events, right? But maybe it's not going to be on social media or anything like that. It's going to be at networking events. Whatever it is, I'd go out and outreach to them. Okay. Next, what I would do is tell them my offer, whether this being a little VSL if it's online, or I just tell them a quick thing in terms of like, hey, look, well, I'm just wanting to do this. I'm going to help you achieve this. This is my guarantee. This is whatever it would be. Then I would get 3 case study clients. So case study clients are clients I work with for free to get a case study. The reason I would do this is because I would focus on the fact that these case studies later on are going to help me charge a lot more, because that's my goal. My goal, as I told you at the start, is to be able to charge loads. I just want to charge a lot of money, okay? So 3 case studies, that's my main priority. In terms of this, by the way, let's just say 1 in 10 people actually move forward with the free thing. I had a couple brothers message me. They were like, Fedi, I had this guy on a free trial, but he never moved forward. It's like, dude, I had 10 people on a free trial and only 1 of them moved forward. So I just go with 1 in 10. I just assume 1 in 10, right? So 1 in 10 people. Okay. Next, after getting 3 case studies, I would literally continue focusing on this and doing it times 1,000. I would literally try and automate the whole process, or try and do more of the entire process. I do more cold calls, more Facebook DMs, more LinkedIn DMs, more networking events. I would literally try and 1,000x what I'm doing in terms of the outreach. Because right now I'm trying to get my traffic source so I can realize what's broken in my business. Maybe I'm really bad at sales calls, so I got to fix that. So I keep getting sales calls. I keep practicing sales calls. Maybe I realize my service delivery is actually really bad, right? So even though I got 3 case studies, my service delivery is still really bad. So I've got to improve it. Next, what I would do is literally double or triple my price. So I would fully book myself. I would have myself like a small price, let's say, like I said, $2,000 or $1,500. And I would just keep doubling my price until I find people that are like, don't pay me anymore. Like literally people are like, well, dude, sorry, but that's a bit ridiculous for your chart. Like for your giving, that's really ridiculous. But instead of decreasing my price, what I would then do, as a little side note, is improve my offer. So improve my $100 million offer. I'd look at, okay, cool, what other services could I add? What other guarantees could I have? What other ways could I increase their value? What ways can I help them achieve their goals? How can I be more involved in the process? How much more can I do in terms of done for you? So in terms of like business side of things, by the way, buddy, what service would you charge? Again, I would literally look at my competitors. This is the really important thing. If I'm new to the niche, if I'm new to the who, I would literally look at what my competitors are doing, because they probably know more than me. If they're still in business, they probably know more than me. I'm just going to try and do better than them. So after 2xing my price, I've probably made 10K per month by this point, which is this is literally the exact thing me and my business partner did. This is literally the exact thing me and my business partner did to get to 10K per month. So I'm not lying to you. We're a bit above that now, but our goal is to inshallah get to 50K per month and then 100K per month. I really don't like talking about money. This might be one of my limiting beliefs, but I always feel like somebody's judging me or not believing me or thinking like something weird. It's just money, like it's just value. So yeah, astaghfirullah. Anyways, this is my plan. This was the plan that I did at the start. I got case studies, by the way. I helped people for free to achieve some things. And then I basically used those case studies and I helped more people. This is literally the entire process I took. Literally the entire process. So, yeah. I mean, I hope you'll be making 10K per month by the end of this. I just wanted to make it really in depth. If there's any questions in general, you might be having questions around the outreach and things like that, don't hesitate to put them in the comment section because I will try and make a video on them. I'm more than happy to help as much as I can. But yeah, so one last thing on this actually. I want to make a quick point in terms of mindset. If you don't believe any of this is possible, if you're thinking, well, Fedi, how am I supposed to 2x my price? Fedi, what do you mean I have to do 3 case studies for free? What if they say no to me? Fedi, I don't want to cold call. I don't want to do these things. Fedi, I want to pick a service that I like. I don't want to pick a service that other people are doing. Fedi, all of these things, you have to realize you know nothing. So are you going to listen to yourself who's made $0, or are you going to listen to me? And it's like, I'm not saying this like in a way to attack your ego and make myself better than you. I'm just telling you, like, maybe it's a good idea for you to just for 1 year, when going into 2025, because I made this video in 2024, just for 1 year, don't listen to your mind. Don't listen to your brain. Just do what other people tell you to do. Just for 1 year, do what other people tell you to do who are higher than you, who have done more than you. And just look at what happens. Genuinely, look at what happens when you stop listening to your stupid brain and just do as other people tell you to do, who are more successful than you, who know more than you. You'll probably find that you yourself are going to level up and become more successful. Genuinely. Maybe tell yourself, actually, money isn't that bad because everybody who's rich says money is not bad. Maybe doing cold calls isn't a bad thing. It's not really scammy as long as I'm like asking permission and I do the cold call correctly. Maybe doing case studies doesn't make me look like an idiot. Maybe they won't say no. Just stop listening to you because you are the reason you are watching this video, probably not making 10K per month, probably not very happy with your current situation and wanting to improve it, which is good. It's good that you're wanting to improve it. But the reason you haven't improved it is because you don't believe it's possible. You don't allow yourself to do it. So genuinely reflect on that. What in 2025 can I do just to shut off my brain and take action and listen to what other people are telling me to do? For once, can I stop doing mental masturbation and just take action? That is your goal, just to take action based on what I've told you. I've made it very, very simple for you. If you want to go back to the start of the video, rewatch it, I fully understand the plan to 10K per month. I don't think it's hard. I've done it. I don't think it's hard. I've done it more than once, alhamdulillah. And I think other people can do it too. And this is exactly what I tell other people to do. And people who signed clients, people who are doing really, really well, right? So this is something that you want to take seriously, something you want to action, not something you just want to watch another video about making 10K per month. And then, what's that next video on my recommended right there? It's an Iman Gaji video about the best business model to do in 2025. Let me watch that video. All right, cool. You do you. I've given you the exact plan. I've told you exactly what I would do without you having loads of information. So this is beginner friendly. And if you decide not to action any of it, then best of luck, akhi. Because I generally believe that the Ummah can be great. I generally believe that it's going to be us entrepreneurs that make the Ummah the best it can be. But if you're not willing to take action, then you're going to be one of those people that looks at the other great people in life. You're going to look at other people and you're going to be like, oh my goodness, look at that person making millions. I bet he's an evil person. He says he wants to help the Ummah. No one who wants to help the Ummah is making millions, right? Making money is haram. Oh my goodness, this guy, he's probably scammed people. He's probably a horrible person. All right, you continue thinking that. You continue coping and not taking action. I'm going to be out here, inshallah, bi'idhnillah, right? If Allah allows me to, for the sake of him to be able to help our Ummah do the best it can do, because at the end of the day, that's my goal. So generally reflect on what emotions, what thoughts, what feelings popped up during this video that are holding you back from taking action, and then ignore those feelings and emotions, or even just reflect on them and, come to terms and accept them and just take action. Because I've given you the entire plan, alhamdulillah, and inshallah you found it useful in the first place. But if you want to know how to make 10K per month, again, this is my my little selfish pitch. If you want to know how to make 10K per month, it's completely free if you join the school community. Like inside, me and Mohammed show you the exact halal agency model that we used. The reason we call it halal agency because it's not really SMMA, it's kind of different. But halal agency model that we did, I want to show you more in depth of each of the strategies in the video. It's like a 40-minute video that Mohammed made. He's an amazing guy, mashallah ali. And if you just want to connect with brothers and sisters who are entrepreneurs already doing quite well and they're very committed to their goals, then also feel free to join, right? You've got two things. You've got understanding how to be making 10K per month and even more because you can automate some things and obviously have a team and stuff like that, more advanced stuff. And then inshallah, you can obviously connect with like-minded brothers and sisters. I don't know why I was looking at the board. It's literally empty. I was expecting to see something. Anyways, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And hopefully, inshallah, I'll see you soon. Don't forget to subscribe. Like I said, I'll leave in the description some of the videos I mentioned in terms of cold calling, in terms of DMs, and you pick the one that you find most interesting. But I'll see you soon. يرضى الله عليك. تسلم.